From World War II, we move into the Korean War era. And here there are two pieces in particular that speak, really speak to me. The first is this painting here by Master Sergeant John DeGrosse. And it's not a piece where aviation is really the preeminent element. There's a Corsair here, it's fairly small. But if there's one painting that perfectly encapsulates the connection between marine aviation and the Marines on the ground and the Marine Air Ground Team, it's this simple painting. And this depicts Marines advancing into North Korea with a Corsair providing close air support. The two orange panels have been laid out by the Marines to mark their position so that the aircraft can safely bomb and engage the enemy beyond. But since, really since 1919, the sole reason for marine aviation is to support the Marine warfighter on the ground. Now that can take many forms. It can be transportation, it can be night fighting, electronic warfare, etc. But all of it is key to supporting that Marine on the ground. And this painting very eloquently sums that up. The other painting I'll point you to is this painting, Landing Zone, by Colonel Chenoweth. The Marine Corps embraced the helicopter in the early 1950s, much more so than the United States Army. And we had done so because that was a new technology that would allow us to continue to do amphibious assaults in a nuclear age. Once nuclear atomic weapons proliferate, the idea of anchoring a fleet offshore for months at a time can't happen. That fleet becomes too good of a target. So it was the helicopter that allowed us to disperse that assault fleet and still bring Marines ashore. And so the helicopter becomes the real both technological revolution and doctrine. And we take the helicopter to war in Korea in numbers and come up with uses that no one else had come up with before.
And looking at this wall over here, this is the Bob McCall that I mentioned here. And so when you're leaving the building this morning, please make sure you take a look at the mural in the lobby. And Joan's going to speak a little bit about these paintings here.
In this particular area, we have kind of that bridge between Korea and Vietnam. We're very fortunate in that two of our combat artists were aviators. Mike Leahy as well as Colonel Peter Michael Gish. Colonel Gish joined the Marine Corps when he was very young at the end of World War II and was a pilot. He continued on his Marine Corps career training helicopter pilots and then his full career. His civilian career, however, was in the arts. He has his bachelor's degree in art from Dartmouth and his Master of Fine Arts from Yale, and then taught at Fairfield College when he wasn't doing his Marine duties. He volunteered to be a combat artist in Vietnam, and luckily for us, as all artists do, they paint, and so we were able to acquire these early works from him by donation and giving them to the collection. So we're able to have that small bridge. Then when he was in Vietnam, and you'll see the works as we get into that section of the work that he did, he also, since he was a pilot, and Ben will speak to what was going on with Marine pilots in Vietnam, wound up flying 26 missions as a co-pilot.
And what I like, what John has talked about, is his style. He had a very kind of quick, painterly style.
He does. Colonel Gish doesn't spend a lot of time overworking a painting. He has a very simple palette. He has a very rich palette, as you can tell by this particular painting here. And he does the work. He builds the canvas. It can be thick or very light, and then he's done. And you see this really rich, just gorgeous color, and his technique is wonderful, and it has remained constant throughout his career, only getting better as he's in his 80s now, and he's still doing just amazing work.